So assalamualaikum and good greetings. So this will be another video that is related to electric vehicle as well as Tesla. In the previous video we watched a partnership between Tesla and Toyota, which happened to be a rumor, and starting with that video, this has been happening, but if I don't do this now, there's no chance. So let's just roll with it, right? So it's actually almost 1 a.m. and she's still awake. What to do? Okay, so this is how NIO plans to beat Tesla in China. So this is more about NIO, I think, that is going up against just Tesla in China. That's the title of this video. Without further ado, let's watch.
Previously on the brink of bankruptcy, Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer NIO is now on track to be one of the biggest EV companies in China, trumping all but Tesla for now. Join us for this detailed look at how NIO went from nothing to rivaling the likes of Tesla in the space of just a few years. The Chinese startup formerly went by the name of NextEV, a company with roots similar to those of global superstar Tesla, albeit in a different direction. To gain traction in the automotive world, NextEV's first initiative was a limited-run electric supercar. This, the EP9, would be the turning point for the company, which would, from now on, be known as NIO. With a range of more than 260 miles, it was built in conjunction with the firm's Formula E division. 6 of these 1,360 horsepower hypercars were sold to investors for over $3 million, while a further 10 models went on to be publicly owned. After the success of this limited car, hard to believe that years later, the Chinese startup would be facing financial difficulties. But that's exactly what happened when in 2019, the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. It was the $1.4 billion investment from the Chinese government in early 2020 that saved the company. But in return, it would lose a 24.1% stake, which would then belong to the government. Later that year, it climbed to be the 5th most valuable automaker in the world, after Tesla, Toyota, Volkswagen and BYD, another Chinese car manufacturer. Today, Tesla has earned itself top position as the leading EV manufacturer in China, with more Teslas being sold than any other electric vehicles offered there. Shanghai's Gigafactory will of course help ensure that the company can keep up with demand. The American company's success relies on its extensive supercharger network, of which there are more than 300 sites dotted across the Chinese mainland. NIO recognizes the importance of fast charging abilities, but the automaker bases its successes on something entirely different. Described as vehicle battery separation, NIO wants consumers to see the battery as a separate entity from the car. The concept is simple. By removing the dead battery and replacing it with a fully charged one, a driver can be back on the roads in just a couple of minutes. In fact, Tesla has already experimented with this sort of technology, way back in a 2013 California-based trial center.
So this is about battery swapping, I guess.
But the project was abandoned because superchargers were proven to be fast and, crucially, popular enough for the vast majority of people. Reducing EV charging times down from more than 12+ hours is certainly key to Tesla's success, but NIO is topping up drivers' batteries in less than 10 minutes. Although the concept was used on the EP9, it wasn't until 2018 that the first battery swap station opened in China. To date, there are more than 160. The process is simple. A booking is made on an app, which is followed by a member of staff reversing the car into the shelter. Laser-guided machinery unscrews the existing battery pack, sends it underground to be charged, and replaces it with a fully charged pack. And between 5 and 10 minutes later, the driver is free to leave. NIO car owners can pay approximately $150 per month for this service, which allows up to 6 battery changes at any one of the company's facilities.
6 in the lifetime? 6 battery changes? How many years? 6 battery changes. What does that mean? Because the concept here is, if it is not recharged, it is the full battery used and then just replaced with a full pack battery, right? So what does it mean by 6 battery changes per, what is it, per week, per month? Anyway, this is interesting because of course I become aware of battery swapping back in 2019, I guess, but I think the infrastructure needed for this kind of thing is quite substantial, you know.
Second-hand owners are not forgotten about too. They can pay per kilowatt hour for the energy that would be required to recharge their flat battery. Battery technology is still evolving at a rapid rate, which is why builders of electric vehicles prefer to fit different styles of batteries in various models within the same company. But the success of NIO's battery swap stations is thanks to the standardized battery pack, which can be taken from and added to any model under their brand. The battery pack, accounting for approximately $10,700 of the car's overall cost, can be purchased along with the car, or effectively rented from NIO. Company representatives say about 1/3 of all customers prefer to do this. Skeptics have already noticed a flaw in the battery swap station's business model though. While wait times are very short, only 160 or so are currently in operation. This doesn't account for people who live too far away from a station or...
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because for wide adoption, you have to have a lot of infrastructure set up. Meaning the challenge for EV, especially when you say about developing country, right? To even set up EV charging infrastructure is a challenge. But compare to battery swapping infrastructure, that is even much more of a challenge.
Or who may be travelling for work or holiday purposes outside of the catchment area. No problem though. Users can charge their NIO just like any other electric car from a domestic or fast charging outlet. But sometimes poor planning or sudden changes can even render this impossible. What if in the middle of nowhere a driver runs entirely out of power? NIO's got that covered too. By using the app, customers can request a charging truck to show up, which houses the correct equipment to add those essential miles back into the car's battery. Forget diesel power. Even the charging trucks are run off 100% electric. Currently,
So, if I understand it correctly, you can still slow charging, fast charging, as well as swap the battery. Is it correct? Because if all the three options available, then obviously it is a plus. But what is the cost then? Because to make the battery in a way that it can easily, swapped, should that be additional cost?
company's cheapest car is the ES6, a mid-size SUV coming in at 358,000 yuan. That's about $55,000. The car promises a pinch under 550 horsepower and 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. Up to 380 miles off one charge is realistic too. With seats for 6 or 7, the customizable ES8 tops the range as the ES6's bigger brother. Slightly slower at 4.9 seconds and promising 360 miles instead, this model will cost from 448,000 yuan or $69,000. A drag coefficient of 0.26 helps the EC6 to achieve a couple of miles more than the ES6 on which it's based, but this coupe crossover fusion, in top spec, can be even quicker, racing to 62 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. This all comes at a minimal cost increase of 10,000 yuan or $1,500 over the ES6 SUV. SUVs and electric vehicles are a huge trend in China today. In fact, there are over 500 companies registered in the country that produce what are known as new energy vehicles or alternative fuel source vehicles.
Imagine then 500, is it 500 companies?
These and electric vehicles are a huge trend in China today. In fact, there are over 500 companies registered in the country that produce what are known as new energy vehicles.
500 companies in China alone producing new energy vehicles. That is not just EV, I guess.
Or alternative fuel source vehicles that don't rely on internal combustion engines. Only a handful have made it as far as NIO though. Drivers who buy battery swap electric vehicles are currently eligible for subsidies of up to $3,500 in China. But the government stresses that this is a limited time incentive, and with EV demand heightening, such financial incentives are soon to be axed. NIO's even having a crack at the saloon market, a heavily saturated segment which has proven hugely lucrative in the country with its ET7. A 620-mile range and 0 to 62 in 3.9 seconds are just the start. The ET7 will be the start of the company's heavy focus on safety and self-driving tech. Some of the 33 instruments included in this executive saloon include ultra-long-range LiDAR, high-resolution cameras, millimeter wave radars, and ultrasonic sensors. The huge kit list signifies that the company is taking a huge step in the autonomous direction, with current cars already being equipped with around 20 pieces of kit to enable NIO Pilot. While Tesla aims to produce 250,000 electric models from Giga Shanghai each year, we must remember that that the company is significantly older and more experienced than NIO. Regardless, the company recently struck a deal with Chinese state-owned JAC Motors to use its assembly factories. Thanks to this, NIO recently hit its 50,000 vehicles produced milestone. A remarkable 650,000 battery swaps have been carried out, showing just how reliable this technology is, while 800 million combined miles have been covered by its cars on the roads today. Predominantly an auto manufacturer,
I think it does require what do you call that, economy of scale to have this kind of system working, right? Because when we consider it for Malaysia purpose, it's very hard to imagine if you do not have the economic of scale to go this route.
NIO wants us to think of the company as a complete lifestyle and tech solution. We've already discussed its range of battery swap stations, recharging trucks and regular charging stations, not to forget home-based personal charging stations. But there's just one more thing: the NIO House. This network of houses helps promote brand loyalty and ultimately engage customers even more with the brand. There's a range of professional services, including bookable meeting rooms, libraries and forums, as well as more pleasurable spaces to relax like the coffee shop, the lounge areas and the joy camp for children. Even though the company has offices in Germany, the United Kingdom and the United States, its portfolio of cars, charging network and lifestyle choices are only available in China. And it's expected to remain that way for a long time yet. With huge political change just around the corner, who knows what comes next? Although over a third of Tesla's...
Wait, because this video is posted on January 2021. Anyway,
sales take place in China. This news should have Elon Musk quaking in his boots. Currently facing only competition from automakers that are branching away from conventional internal combustion engine cars, Tesla is on the brink of some huge competition. Let us know what you make of NIO's huge success in China, and whether you see it having a future outside of the country.
that's the thing though. Most of these companies, because of the scale of the size of the economy of China, they don't really need to go outside of China to become so big, right? Like BYD, for example. Of course, BYD actually exported a lot, including to Malaysia. But just within China, the massive, scale of the economy, meaning that the company have become so powerful just within China, right? So that's the interesting part of this kind of countries. I guess you can have a similar within China, India, the US, or EU, for example, as a whole, right? Where the whole economy is big enough that even if you thrive within that, it is already such a big company. But anyway, interesting stuff. I'm not aware, to be honest, that this company have been as big. I think it reached 50,000 cars sold with this technology, battery swapping, because last time I look into it, it seems like it is still in this stage of testing or beta or whatever. And it mentioned that Tesla did test this concept but do not go that way. But this is interesting. Let's see another couple of years whether it will become more and more mainstream, and what about the uptake in other region. But anyway, I think I will look for other update on this company. It seems interesting, even though I do not think it is suitable for Malaysia at the moment. Obviously, in this country we are not even at the early adoption stage yet, so maybe it's easier to discuss on electric bus, where it is more under control compared to private vehicle. But anyway, that's the video for today. Thank you for watching. What do you think? If you are aware of all of this, what do you think? What's your opinion on electric vehicles in general, or this technology, battery swapping by NIO? Thank you for watching. See you next time.